Welcome to the 7th episode of ML Backstage. My name is Mars Luna.
And I'm Ethan.
And we're introducing this podcast straight from the 6th dimension. This is a music commentary podcast hosted by my favorite Earthlings, Holokahiki Toves and Kainalu Kamai.
You're forgetting Joshua again.
Who? No, I'm not. Anyway, I'm really excited today because we got another special guest. The musical wizard and mad scientist of House Brooks, TommBro. I am really excited, Ethan, and I'm really interested in seeing how this dynamic unfolds. Earthlings, grab your popcorn and let's get started. Back to planet Earth we go!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 7 of the ML Backstage podcast. My name is Joshua Luna, and I am here with my co-host, once again, Kainalu Kamai and Holokahiki Toves. Holo, how's your week been?
Already to me already.
No, you'll see why I'm asking you first. You'll see why.
God. Oh man.
On the spot.
It's actually been pretty good. Earlier today I actually went to this flash photography lighting class. Just to to learn more knowledge about flash photography and off lighting. So that was good fun. Other than that, this daily exercise, try to watch what I eat, and then clocking in, clocking out. What I'm what's that all about? Yeah. Well, yeah, it's all G on my side.
Yeah, let's go. Nalu, how's the waves?
Waves were smaller than yesterday, but still fun. Not that much people, I guess, because the whole pandemic thing here is keeping all the tourists away. So Waikiki is kind of more emptier than before.
Really?
Good thing.
I noticed that some of my friends from Vegas actually visited Hawaii recently, and one of my homies got engaged.
Oh, nice.
And, he was staying with his now fiance at the Hilton Hawaiian Village. So they spent like a good week there, and I know a couple from my church, they're on Oahu as well. So
That's dope.
So I mean, it's just that's what I thought I'd ask.
Enjoy it.
Did you find Bay at Queens?
No, nobody is down to wake up at 4 a.m. to go surfing with me. I don't think anybody will.
I'm dead. I mean, you gotta find some compromise, my boy.
Some compromise.
Yeah.
Think of others, man.
But other than that, how's your week been, Nalu?
The usual. Not much going on
right
now. Next week, maybe.
Maybe by next podcast things will change.
Probably.
I've had a busy week this week. I actually ended up coloring my hair for the first time in like 2 years. I went full purple rain. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can't really see it too much, but in that sunlight it hit different. It's like really dark purple,
Yeah.
And the color is really settling in nicely. And I worked on some Mars Luna stuff since we had to get some stuff done, and we're going to introduce our special guest. So ladies and gentlemen, I told y'all last episode that we had a special guest, introducing Thomas Brooks. Better known as TommBro.
How you guys doing?
How are you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. Got a lot of work done since I've been out here.
Yeah,
I'm in Vegas right now for the uninitiated. I'm currently on a trip.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
you're here for a week, right?
Yeah, for a week. I take off on Monday night.
Monday night, okay. How do you feel like your trip's been so far?
I feel like it's been very beneficial. It's very productive. Got a lot done. partly you know that, and there's still more days to come with many more clients. But as
For
far
sure.
as you work with you and I and Morgan, like we've done so much, and I couldn't be any more happy. Been looking forward to those sessions and more for like weeks.
Right.
So, and I'm very happy so far with the outcome.
Sorry.
You're good.
But yeah, so Tom is the one of the executive producers on the next Mars Luna project, Dark Matter, which we gave a soft reveal in the last episode, and couldn't be more thrilled with the direction musically that it's taking so far. So just since you're here, just describe yourself. How do you know me? How do you know Mars Luna? And just tell us about your creative journey from the beginning to present.
Okay, well, I can start about how I know you, because I'm associated right now with a team called Battleborn, who's located right here in Las Vegas, Battleborn Records, and one of the artists there, Silo, had a show that you were a part of, just to kind of put that short.
Yeah.
And so I found you through some of the photos that they took, and I was like, who is this dude, and why is he so freaking good at piano and voice? And
yeah,
guy seems wildly talented. So, I had to shoot him a DM, and faithfully he, responded back, and I just became a fan. And then a couple of months down the line, we've done some great stuff, but we'll get more to that as we go. As far as my journey goes, it started from a very young age when I got into music. I think I was around 13, and taking it a little bit more back, when I was around like 11, my brother-in-law had a MacBook, and I had no idea what GarageBand was at the time until he introduced it to me, because he had this really cool story that he was stuck in a snowstorm in Arizona.
Oh wow!
Over by Flagstaff. So, out of, I guess, boredom, they decided to make like 5 tracks with just like its microphone and some like very, very like stock loops from GarageBand. And he gave me a CD of that, and I just thought that was like the coolest thing ever. So like by the time I figured out what GarageBand was capable of doing, I got myself one for Christmas. Played with GarageBand myself, and rest is history there. And then I decided to kind of develop my own studio even afterwards, which my very first studio, by the way, was just literally desktop speakers in a corner of my bedroom. Like there was like right there was like a desktop screen right on top of the dresser. The speakers were like on the bottom like shelf or whatever. It was like literally the most ghetto setup ever. Eventually, I got to get my first pair of monitors and move over to the garage. And, as I worked more and more and more and trained more and more and worked with a bunch of like local clients from a city I grew up in called Temecula, California. Like I fell in love with it more. Went to school at the Los Angeles Recording School. I graduated 4.0 in that.
Nice.
And I mean, I'm here now.
Yeah. This dude is a musical genius. He's kind of like this. This dude operates like a robot. He operates like a machine. I could envision like
that's what I've been told.
I could envision like in 2040 or so, if like all the factories and stuff were like filled with people like Tom who just operate at a ridiculously fast pace, I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, like this dude's a
robotics industries.
Yeah, he's a workhorse for sure. And I was gonna say something kind of like, but I'm not gonna go there. So
all right.
No, I was gonna say, for real. I was gonna say like you were kind of like the Sheldon Cooper of music. Like you're kind of like the you kind of view
the
music.
Sheldon Cooper. I'm dead.
Like
I've gotten that compliment before too. So no, it's definitely not the first time.
So it was kind of like, you kind of approach music like a physicist. You know what I'm saying? Like I put it that way. Like you kind of speak in ways that I'm like, that kind of go over my head at times, but I'm like, hey, as long as it feels good, bro, I'm good.
Right.
Now I can't
For
unsee
sure.
that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
Yeah, man. Go
oh
on.
no, go. So no, I was. That's cool. That's cool knowing that you're doing music now. It's like the stars align for everything, even with us, meeting together, and even with that Instagram DM, and just with you making music in general. Um, I want to talk to you about the name TommBro. Why the name TommBro, and why did you spell it the way that you spelled it? And what is the origins behind it?
There's honestly not a lot to it. So like on my first so in terms of with my my brand or stage name or whatever you want to address it as,
Mm-hmm.
my first my first I guess brand name was Toma B.
Toma B.
It's a weird name that was that my uncle used to call me. I don't know why he called me that, but he did.
Mm-hmm.
And it stuck with me for a while. And then I went through a short series of or short time of working with this name called Cinematic.
Okay.
That did not last at all. That barely last 2 weeks. So I'm trying to figure out a name, and I was kind of going on my first Instagram name. So I was like, what about Tommy? Tommy B. No, that's stupid. T Brooks. No, that's retarded. So eventually I led up to TommBro, which was spelled TOMBRO, but it got taken on Instagram. So I was like, okay, let's add another M for good measure, and that wasn't taken. So I just did that, and then eventually, like when I was in the conversation with myself and thinking about a new name, I was like, what about TommBro? At first I was kind of complimenting it because like TommBro, like I get it, like it's a little weird. TommBro. Hey, look, it's TommBro. Like, it's like there's a lot of weird jokes you can make with it, but it stuck with me, so I decided to go with it, and I've been the same ever since.
That's cool. I mean, it kind of stems from your name too, right? But
Yeah.
Thomas.
Yes,
Brooks.
that's right. It's Thomas Brooks, exactly. So they're both the first half of my first name and the first half of my last name. So like he said, Thomas Brooks.
Mm-hmm.
So the Tom is Thomas and the Bro is for Brooks, in case if you haven't got it yet.
That's fire.
Yeah, man.
And you didn't have to think about it that much either, so it's pretty cool.
Not a lot to it, no.
So you mentioned earlier that you went to school in LA, right? And you grew up in Southern California.
That
right?
is true.
So how was life in LA? And how do you describe like the music world there?
The music world is diverse. The city is also diverse, but it's also very dirty. I remember the first time I went to LA, my first experience was some dude taking a crap on the sidewalk.
Oh man.
Not even kidding. Not even kidding. And oddly enough, like I saw that as one of my I saw that like at my I think I haven't counted of course, but like maybe my 50th visit or 100th visit. I don't even know, but it was during when I was like signing up for the LA recording school and I was like taking a tour. When I got back to my car, the sidewalk was filled with like soap, like dishwashing kind of soap, like the type of soap where you kind of like pour into the thing. Yeah, like I didn't know exactly what it was, but it was like, or like laundry deterrent, I think it was, or something like that. I'm not even sure, but it was something of that. But anyway, it was there.
Dang.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That was So welcome to LA.
Yeah. I heard LA is ghetto like that though.
It is. Like my school is on Sunset Boulevard, so there was kind of a lot going on there. Okay. There was a school, there was a film school, there was a couple of restaurants, there was a strip club. The place was always dirty. There was a movie theater.
Isn't there a musicians institute there too on Sunset Boulevard?
Yeah, not exactly where I was, but like kind of further down, maybe like take a turn or But
Yeah,
yeah, Musician Institute's down there.
yeah, because I think the last time I went down there was to inquire about
Yeah.
Musicians Institute like years ago.
Oh, I didn't
So
even know that.
yeah, this was like probably maybe like 1 or 2 years after I graduated high school. So
Oh wow.
it was a long time ago. But yeah. So tell us about your experience at Los Angeles recording school. How's that
Uh,
experience like? And how did your experience there translate to what you're doing now with music?
that's actually an excellent question because you'll learn more.
Mhm.
My experience in school has been awesome. I got to meet a lot of people. I got to go to a lot of professional studios and like go to a lot of great sessions, meet some good people, meet some bad people too. But I mean, hey, it's LA, so
Yeah.
yeah. So I got to meet a lot of people, and great singers, great producers, great engineers, and like I said, I graduated with a 4.0. But it's funny too because going to school, I met one particular person named Levi Mitchell, and he's actually pretty important to where I am now because of the whole connect and how I ended up here in Vegas. I guess he went to an Andy Mineo concert that another person that we know named Kyle Lowery also went to, and they met up there.
Yeah.
They hashed it out, and I guess they talked or something like that. He mentioned my name, so Kyle went to my Instagram. He just messaged me, and that's how we met.
Right.
Talked for a little bit. He was still K-Lo at the time, by the way, which is pretty crazy. Like that goes to show how long ago it was. But yeah, so we talked for about months and months and months, and then he had this show coming up in February where he actually invited me to go out there and to put it short because there's a little bit of a longer version of it, but everything worked out. So yeah. I went to the show. My dad even decided to drive because he needed a vacation anyway. So he went to go play into slots while I went to this local show for some random stranger.
Yeah.
And the show was good, and I got to meet the people that I know now there, like Daniel, aka Silo Roman, Nick, aka Roman, and yeah, so that was a fun time. And then like later down the line, I got to meet Jordan, and then I started making songs with each of the artists, and one thing after another, I got invited to be on the team. So yeah, now I'm on Battleborn, and I take a trip out here to Vegas like twice every year at least.
Yeah.
And
that sounds about right.
Yeah, and it's been a blast.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, in the case between all those instances, it was written in the stars. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure.
So that actually answered one of my next questions. Your connection to Vegas. Shout out to Kyle, man. Kyle. Kyle. We mentioned Kyle a couple of times in several different episodes, but I feel like he's a really good like people connector. He's always, even though you may not be like super tight with him, he kind of leads you to different people that you end up being tight with. So,
yeah, he does have that weird talent or ability about him for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you met me, like you said, through Instagram, through a show that I did with Daniel, like you said. And I was kind of, I normally don't really respond to people on Instagram like that, right? On the DMs.
Neither do I.
So I was just kind of like, okay, I was like, all right, I see this dude right here, TommBro. I had to check the mutual friends. So I was just kind of like, okay, he knows these other guys, right? So it was just
so I'm not just some random person. It's like, hey, I'm a fan. Let's link up, bro. Like that kind of thing.
Right. No. So I was like, okay,
making music.
So I was just like, yeah, okay, like so I was like, okay, this seems like a real person, but I didn't really trust you at the time because,
right.
because I have trust issues. So it was just kind of like,
I'm
Okay.
actually surprised I even got a response from you because of that.
hmm It was kind of like, kind of had several conversations down the line, and it was just kind of like, okay, like, okay, there's only so far you can go through Instagram DM. So I was like, you can contact me here. Like, if I gave you my phone number, and it was just like,
Hmm.
and then one thing led to another, and then it's leading to where we are now with Dark Matter, which we're going to get to later on. Um,
Yeah, for sure.
so I do want to ask about Fire Valley or Battleborn, since you did mention them.
Okay.
How is your experience like with them, knowing that knowing that you don't live here in Vegas? You've
Right.
Like you said, you visit Vegas.
Hmm.
You're actually living in Virginia now, right?
Right. For about, yeah. Right.
Which we'll
For
get
sure.
to in a bit. But I want to, since you did mention all the events that led up to the present.
Right.
How is your relationship like with Fire Valley, and how is the working relationship like? Just operating long distance from us here in
Right.
Vegas and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely horrible, and I want all that time back. No, I'm kidding. No, no, no. It's actually been very, very great. Like the people there are, you know, they work hard. Like everyone is so like-minded with each other. Like they all know what they want. They get stuff done. They're driven. Like
Mhm.
it's been a great experience, and the founder there, Jordan, is just super professional. I couldn't ask for a better partner and a business partner than Jordan. Like he's just a very professional dude, and
Yeah,
those are the type of people that I really look for when you know finding people to work on that kind of stuff with on the business side of music,
yeah,
which admittedly is something that I kind of struggle in a little bit. But but having a guy like Jordan, he just makes everything easy, and
Mhm.
I always recommend working with him on the business end. Like he knows what he's doing. Such a great guy, and very professional.
Yeah. I mean, I will say that like Jordan, he's one of them dudes that's like he's about his business, you know.
He
So
really is.
so you know so shout out to Jordan, shout out to Fire Valley, shout out to all them guys, cool peoples. Um,
Battle board.
so you moved to Virginia. Uh,
Hmm.
you moved to Virginia when? From LA, right?
Hmm. Yeah, it was about I'm kind of having a brain fog, but I will say it's about like
Oh, good.
about 3 years ago,
Okay.
and I was living, and actually, admittedly, still am living with the folks, with the family,
Mm-hmm.
just for mostly money reasons.
Right.
And to put it like, no one's job was really working out. Like, my dad was kind of getting screwed over. My
Mm-hmm.
mom already retired, and my job over at a Panera Bread kind of wasn't the best. And my sister was living with us too, with who is now with her boyfriend, which is now her husband,
Mm-hmm.
was kind of with us too, because um he's actually associated with the MLB. He got drafted. He's with the
Oh,
Marlins.
oh, dang, that's fire.
Yeah.
Oh,
So yeah, he's grinding that route right now, and yeah, shout out to Cody Poteet, man.
Ooh, let's go.
He's super dope. He's super dope. So yeah, essentially we knew we had to get out of California. It just wasn't,
Mm-hmm.
to put it short, it just wasn't working for us anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So we got out on the road. We didn't know where we were going to go. So, we had to make like a bunch of phone calls and, a bunch of meetings, especially from the Pops end.
Yeah.
And we stopped at a couple of states to rest, like Arizona, Texas. We even stopped in Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
And then out of nowhere, an opportunity came up in Virginia. So we literally just crash landed there, stood at a hotel for a month, got a house, and then we just randomly got a life here, I guess.
Yeah.
Where we'll be in the future, where will I be in the future? I don't really know yet. But for right now, that's
Mhm.
where we're at.
Hey, that's. I mean, you're still, you're surviving. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
it's just
I love to travel anyway, so I mean,
yeah.
somewhat of a good experience.
Right. Right. Right, for sure. So going
Yeah,
back to
man.
music, I asked Morgan this question on
Mhm.
the last podcast, but I want to ask you, what current projects are you working on? Obviously, we're working on Dark Matter together. What are the favorite projects or songs that you've done or songs that you've produced?
I feel like in terms with dark matter, if I can include like some, I always feel like the answer kind of like changes
Hmm.
the more work that I do on my end,
Okay.
and the more I actually kind of hear from Morgan's end.
Hmm.
Like you already spoiled Psychopath, so I will say Psychopath.
Hmm.
At first, like, because that was one of the tracks that was lended to me
Yeah.
to do production stuff on,
Hmm.
and like I didn't know where I was gonna go with that at first, but you know, adjustments have been made, some changes in recording had to be made, and themes and stuff like that, and now it's like literally one of the most beautiful songs on the album.
Yeah.
I can definitely see why you think it's number one
Yep.
for sure.
You know that. It's one of those songs that that kind of epitomize the album for me sonically.
Right.
Um, Nalu and Holo, I'll actually send you like a little listen thing.
Yeah, yeah. Send it over.
I'll send it over on the group chat. but
Yeah,
yeah.
the production is beautiful, and I'm not even
Mhm.
just saying that because it's mine, but it's just because of I guess like the instruments and the entire aesthetic and theme I chose for it.
Mhm.
Like I didn't think it would come out the way it did, but it came out beautifully.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh
So
man.
that is your favorite song on Dark Matter right now.
As of right now, yes. Could that change
Sweet.
tomorrow? Yes. But right
Yeah.
now it's right now it's Psychopath.
Yeah, for sure. Sticking with Dark Matter, you came into this process
Hmm.
halfway through from when Morgan and I started it.
Right.
How has this journey of working on Dark Matter been for you on your end?
Well, if you allow to come in, if you allow me to kind of break down the story a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead. From your side.
So so some people may be familiar, some people maybe not, but when one of his songs came out, Rocket Science,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I decided to do a remix for it.
Mm-hmm.
So the Rocket Science TommBro remix.
Yep.
It was just something that I really wanted to do because the original I love so much. I have nothing but respect for the original.
Mm-hmm.
It's great, and it's gonna sound even better alongside with the album. But the reason why I wanted to do the remix to begin with is because it was just like it was special. Like the song to me was just special, and I kind of wanted to kind of put my take on it, and I really
Right.
wanted to see how it sounded.
Mm-hmm.
Some might even say that I took my shot.
Yeah, yeah. She shot a shot with that. She shot a shot. For sure.
Yeah. So after that remix, it was I think what you said was it was that remix that kind of established the studio session with you and Morgan to begin with. So
Correct.
and
Correct.
yeah,
That sounds about right.
and you kind of hinted, not necessarily not necessarily kind of gave me the full, I guess rundown or the whole
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of the word right now, thing for me being on Dark Matter, but when I got to the studio, I was actually really excited for the idea of Dark Matter, that I actually kind of wanted to hear the album, but I didn't want to be so, in your
Upfront
face
about
about
it.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. So I'm like, hey, can I hear the album? Can I hear the album? Can I
Yeah.
please hear the album? I
Yeah.
need to hear the album. Like I didn't want to be that person. but
I'm weak.
that was their plan to begin with. So I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I could hear the album. I could
Mhm.
hear.
Yeah.
I got low key excited, but
Right.
they showed me all the songs, and
Mm-hmm.
but more than half of them were kind of just piano scraps,
Yeah.
and they kind of explained to me that it's like, okay, look, we kind of know what we want, like we have a general idea what we want, but we're willing to like work with different ideas, and then that's when you two were kind of like, do you want to be a part of this album?
Right.
And I'm over here like, and like in person, like outside, I was like, yeah, I would love to do the album, the inside of me was like, do I? Like, because I really wanted to work with you more. Like, you're one of my favorite artists that I've worked with. Like, you're outstanding in my opinion. You are an outstanding artist. So, I kind of wanted a piece of that in my personal producer discography. Can you blame me? So, yeah, you showed me the songs, and you even kind of swore up and down that like some songs like The Villain and like even some more songs
I think it was just that one, because that one was more in
fair.
That was more in progress than some of the other ones, for sure.
Right.
But
and to be fair, yeah, they were like, it was mostly just The Villain too.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, like, this is pretty much finished. And I'm sitting here quietly and I'm like, I'm gonna touch this song, aren't I? like at some point, like I didn't say anything, but like that's exactly what it ended up being.
Yeah.
Like, just, I mean, and I didn't completely overhaul it or anything. Like it wasn't like, as dramatic as I may kind of seem like I'm making it to be for those who don't know the inner circle conversation. But yeah, like I just kind of gave it a co-production kind of touch up, and me and Morgan kind of touch base about like the mix and what needs to be handled, what needs to be changed or recreated and stuff like that. And eventually it came out to be a very gorgeous song.
Oh yeah, because that song it's a very unique song.
Like, it's a unique song, but it's also like you went pretty raw on it. Like that was like 100. Your genuine feeling.
100. So I knew that with that song in particular, like The Villain 2 needed to be an inverse of The Villain 1, which is like a headbanging indie rock song.
Right.
And but then like the Villain 2, it needed to slap, but it needed to slap in a different direction. And like you said, like I thought we were done, because I was used to like a more acoustic, like indie rock background. I wasn't used to like the pop R&B song pop R&B sound that Dark Matter is sounding like now.
Oh yeah, totally. Because that element is your origin for sure.
Yeah, but it was just like I knew my voice was perfectly situated in that sweet spot, so I needed to kind of explore that a little more. And Morgan and I didn't necessarily have the knowledge, or like the understanding of like what kind of sound we needed. All we knew is that we needed additional help on it. That was all.
For sure.
That was all we knew. So it was just kind of like, and it was just like, I think the stars might align with this right now. You know what I'm saying? So
right, yeah, absolutely.
So that was another case of that. And now, like, going back to the Rocket Science remix, we were like, I remember you showing me the remix, and I ended up liking it, and it was just like, it was a random, like, I mean, we talked about it like a little, like briefly, like kind of in passing through one of our text messages, but I didn't know if he was actually going to do it, and it was just like, because during that time we were in the pandemic. The Instagram DM started in December 2019. We got to know each other through like the beginning part of 2020, and then into the pandemic, he brought up the remix. And then, like, I don't know, like, what the music world was going to be like at the time. You know what I mean? It was just like, there was so much uncertainty going around, and we're just like, well, I guess we can just create music for fun for now, And it was just like, well, okay, this remix sounds pretty fire. I'm pretty honored that you decided to remix the song. You know what I mean? And then, like, I remember like the original, like, I don't know, I guess like I viewed music as an escape at the time. So it was just kind of like, well, this sounds like a, summer banger, right? Like a summer banger or whatnot. But I knew deep down in my heart that it wasn't the right time to drop it, that I needed to wait on
Right.
it. I needed to wait on it because
Yeah.
there was a lot of stuff going on in the world, and it just, my soul was not at peace with that. And I
Right.
was, I
Yeah.
was, I was kind of like evaluating everything. And I even talked to these guys about it, Holo and Nalu, and they were like, yeah, this is the, like, not releasing it right now. They were excited for it, but not releasing it in the end of July was the right move. And it ended up working out.
Yeah. For the mental health, that makes sense for sure.
Yeah. And then it led to the music video, and it was a quintessential part of the video for sure. And that, like, it made everything, align the right way. So that was that. Are there any other projects that you're working on right now, or like, what is your absolute favorite song that you've worked on besides Psychopath, or from anybody else for that matter?
Yeah, I'll try not to be too biased here.
Bro, that's why you're
It's,
here.
Well, all right then.
Let it out. Let it out.
It's a kind of a split between my favorite songs right now,
Yeah.
besides Psychopath.
Mhm.
Gone, and
Yeah.
another song called Searchers with one of the
Daniel.
artists of Battleborn. Yeah,
Yep.
with Daniel, aka Silo.
Mhm.
Shout out Silo one time.
Yep. Shout out to Silo.
Freaking love that weirdo.
Hey, bro.
Nah, he's dope. He's good people.
Yeah, for sure.
Searchers is a banger. Like,
Yeah.
I tell everyone this about Searchers. Like, there's only like 3 words I can describe it. It's a party. It is an absolute party.
Yeah.
Like, it's an 80s type banger.
Mhm.
Just like Gone too. Gone is another like 80s style kind of banger.
Yeah.
That's another record I'm very, very proud of.
Nice. That's cool, bro.
Yeah, man.
So, Tom, I know you've been like a really dedicated listener since episode 1, and we really appreciate you for that. And
Absolutely.
And you know that every end of the podcast, we have like we have a philosophical question or 2 or 3 that we talk about that kind of ties to the contents of the episode, whether in a tight manner or a loose way. But the last couple questions I have actually I have 2 questions. So Natasha Ogata, who is a friend of ours, shout out to Natasha. She actually came up with this question, and I was like, she put this up on her Instagram stories, and I was like, I might take this for the actual podcast. So shout out to her. So shout out to her.
See what you got.
So the questions are: Would you rather be able to change one event in your past or see one event in your future? If you choose the past, which event? If you choose the future, which milestone? You can only pick one. Let's see.
All right.
I'll go first. So this was actually was a pretty tough one for me. But after thinking about it a little bit more, because I've been thinking about this question pretty much all week, and I wish I could say this was an easy answer, but it's not an easy answer. I would say the future, because with the past, you can't change the past, and that's just, you can regret the things that you did during the past, or regret certain things that happened during the past, but time will move forward with or without you. So I would say the future. And the one event that I do want to see, it would probably be my wedding day, honestly. Not in a romantic sense, but in a sense of like, I want to see, like, who I'm going to marry. You know what I'm saying? Like, who's going to be in my corner?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
who's going to be your queen?
Who's going to be my queen? Who's going to be like, the best man or the, you know, who are my groomsmen in the corner, you know what I'm saying? And just like, because by then that's when I would know, like, okay, like when I would have, you know, my first kid, and we buy our first home, or, you know what I'm saying? Like just those kind of like milestone events. And like that's probably like the one event that I would look forward to, that I would peek into the future and see, because like that's probably one of the most pivotal, if not the most pivotal moment of someone's life, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
If I were to change the past though, I would change, like I would probably change like right after high school, I probably like stick it out at college a little more, and just, you know, not make impulsive decisions, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm reaping the repercussions of that now. But, you know, I can't change that, you know, like it's all meant to be for a reason, you know, everything that you do, every decision you make, it all leads up to, you know, and it all compounds to bigger decisions down the line, and it kind of, you learn your lessons along the way. So that's what the past is for.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result, I would peek into the future.
All right. Anybody else want to go next, or?
Hold on, Nalu can jump in a pause. Who goes next?
Jack
That's all right. I'll go. I'll let you go if you want.
Go ahead.
For me, I'm actually kind of the opposite. This was actually one of the easiest questions I can ever answer, and my answer is the future, because I've been thinking. I actually kind of been thinking about this for quite a while. And the thing is, like, it's kind of asking a different question in a sense, and here's what I mean by that.
Okay.
Because like if I go over to change something in the past, then that's potentially risking my present, because you never know. Like that's how time works. Whereas where I can, you know, see my future, my present self has a better idea and much better chance on actually changing the future for the better. So in a way, it's kind of like you're asking this question: would you rather risk your present, not knowing your outcome, just like a gamble, or would you rather have an opportunity to really change your future? So my answer there is the future. And that particular time period it's a little bit more of a basic answer, but just myself in 10 years, you know, because I'm 27. I'm, you know, I'm serious about my music, and I want to see myself progress, and I just want to see how things are going in 10 years, and kind of finding out at the same time where I kind of went wrong or what I did right to continue it. But yeah, that's basically why I went with the future, because like if you change the past, then that's going to change your present, and you're not really going to have a chance to do that because, well, it's like you said, you can't really change much of the past. But if your present self knows about like the future, you have a better chance of making the future better than what it already could be. So to me, that answer is obvious, and it's just the future.
Yeah, touche. So since you said the future, I was going to ask you this question anyway. But what do you see TommBro doing next in the immediate future, whether it's music or whether it's personally? You know, because we're working on Dark Matter now. You're working on some other projects with Silo and all the other Battleborn guys. What do you see happening next for TommBro? Do I foresee a TommBro's tape in the future? A trip as an artist? Maybe
nothing's impossible. I because I have been an artist once before. Not a very known one, but it was like during my past days where I was like cutting like singles or tapes like in my garage along with like other artists, which yeah, Like, I mean, I've done stuff where I was able to make a mixtape with a friend who was the artist in literally one night with like 7 tracks.
Yep.
Those were some of the dopest moments I ever had in the studio.
Yeah.
Those were from the very beginning. But what's next for me, like a little bit more personally,
Yeah.
is, I have to be honest, is a lot more professional establishment. Like, I want to be at a place where I have the funds to have my own studio, have my own like house, have a camp, have a place where people can go to, bring a lot more clientele, be in an area where I can actually, you know, do music as to Virginia, which is, as you can imagine, very hard to get that kind of business.
Yeah.
So but due to circumstance, I'm just there. But you know, better future.
Dreams
Hopefully.
go to die in Virginia. Nah. Nah. I'm just playing.
He's quoting that from me, by the way, because I've said that, and the only reason why I did is because when I got to Virginia, my dog had died.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh man.
condolences to your dog.
I mean, you knew that, Josh, but
No, I know, but I'm
he
saying
was a-
condolences to your dog anyway. Is all I'm saying.
yeah, I know.
But
He died too young. He got sick because apparently it wasn't like, because he was an English bulldog, and apparently like they're not the best type of dogs to have in Virginia because of like something with the pollen. I don't remember. I don't even want to get into that before I get all too sad. But anyway, but to answer that question, just more professional establishment. Like I think that's something that I really strive for, that I'm ready for, and I hope to see, you know, happen someday.
right.
To the fullest.
Yeah, dog, you built for it for sure. So
Appreciate it.
so that's lit. Holo, Nalu, what about you guys? Y'all down the junk in a pole?
We should do that. Let's try it.
Let's try it.
You sure?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Okay, wait.
Let's try it. Let's go.
1, 2, 3. Oh wait.
You got the delays on the screen.
1, 2, 3. What's going on?
Dude, for those who are listening,
you want me to pick?
yeah, go ahead. Do whatever.
Go ahead.
Then take into
Do whatever
account
you
the
want.
delays that
Alright.
are happening on the screen. They chose. So for those who are listening on Spotify
Alright.
and Apple, they chose rock and scissors twice. They chose the same. So it was a draw.
It was a wash. They're horrible at the game. They're horrible at the game.
All
right, so all right, so here we go. Eeny, meeny, miny, holo. Let's go.
Oh man. Oh wait. Hold on. I gotta pull my order for Zippies. Wait, hold on.
Hey, guys, what do you guys
Oh,
want
not
from
Zippies for the family. Zip packs for the whole family, my boy. Oh, I miss Zippies. Yeah. So, would you change one event? Would you change one event in your past, or see one event in your future? You can only pick one thing, though.
One. Oh man. All of a sudden, I'm getting sweaty now.
No, I picked one.
No, never mind.
No, I said if I did choose the past, if I did, but I chose the future.
So 1.5. All right, cool. Holo, what's your answer?
So 1.5.
So
I made a loophole, but whatever.
Right.
So I wish I could clone myself and put myself in the future, because I actually, it's funny that you brought up this question, because I think ever since I would say like middle school, it will be in the back of my head, because between 5th grade, which back then it was considered, you're still in middle school, but between 5th grade between 6th grade and 7th grade, there was a transition from learning my elementary school in Hawaiian immersion, which is a Hawaiian language school, So my first language wasn't English. It was actually Hawaiian. So that
Nice.
transition from sixth grade to seventh grade, I chose to continue with going to English school because my mom gave me the choice. Oh, you want to continue going Hawaiian immersion, or you want to go to, English school and finish it off of that. I chose English school. And after going through, trials and tribulations, bringing myself here now with you guys, the whole time I always would think to myself, oh, what would happen if I said yes and continued to go through Hawaiian immersion school, which is, strictly Hawaiian language. You learn the culture, you learn the arts, and you only get like a pinch of salt of English, and then everything else is Hawaiian. And from this, for me thinking about that, there could be like two things. One is I probably wouldn't be here right now talking to you guys for sure if I took that route. And the second is that I probably would be more, I don't say that I'm less in tune, but I'll probably be more focused on, our rights as Hawaiians, our culture, our land, even the language too. Because now I'm working in tourism industry, and it's focused on Hawaiian culture and the language. So I do have a lot of people. I do hear a lot of people talking the language. The only thing is for me that it's hard for me to speak. I only speak in not fluently, but it's rarely a flow conversation. It's more split in between. But my understanding, I can hear what they're saying, like, oh, they're talking about their day, or they're talking about what happened at work, or they just having fun conversation, or just jokes. But that's what I miss too, is from like right now, Hawaii is being challenged with the rights as Hawaiian people and our culture. I don't know if TommBro, if you heard our Mauna Kea in Big Island, people are the government is trying to build a was it like a 10-foot telescope on there?
It was a telescope.
Telescope.
Yeah.
But it's on sacred ground. So we've been fighting that for, I think, like almost 3 to 4 years. And
Sheesh, all right.
ever since the first initial, they're trying to break ground, all these Hawaiians came up there, and they kukia I mauna, and then that's when the spark. I don't know if it was a spark, but there was a whole increase of people want to learn the language, want to be more knowledgeable, and being surrounded with that, going to progressing through my English school and my studies. I kind of miss, being surrounded by all of that and having that language and trying to speak to the people. We're all Hawaiians here. Even TommBro can be Hawaiian because his spirit of aloha is actually, vibrating. Like I can feel it. But it's trying to be, I want it to be more in tune with my culture now. But if I think about it, if I do change the past, going back to what TommBro and Mars Luna was saying, that it can affect the future, and I probably wouldn't be in photography, probably wouldn't be meeting Kainalu, Mars, or Tom. It would just be in another trajectory, and I probably would be, I don't know, probably be like in Big Island or something. Like very like culture
very
native.
Like, all about the Mauna, my boy.
All about the Mauna, right? Right. I'll be like one with the Aina, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Be following his stories all day. Like,
So with this question, it actually lined up with me. I was like, oh, this is a good time, to express what was in the back of my mind the whole time. And Yeah,
Sure,
just
man.
thank you for guys for listening.
Oh yeah.
You know, I'm the way I'm speaking now. It's it's the same throughout the years because my Hawaiian and English is different. So Hawaiian is backwards, English is proper, and I always catch myself talking backwards. So uh, thank you guys for uh,
Yeah, bro.
enjoying the
Yeah,
presence.
thanks for
Yeah,
sharing.
thank you.
Nice. It's for the people.
Yeah. It's definitely for the people, definitely for the culture. Like I think like me being I can say this, like for me being away from Hawaii, it's made me more attuned to the the struggles that my Hawaiian people go through, you know what I'm saying? And just kind of like I don't take it for granted no more. You know what I mean? It's just like Hawaii, like the Aloha spirit is special. Like Hawaii really is a special place. The only thing that sucks is that living in paradise is, it comes at
Yeah,
very,
yeah, yeah.
very steep cost. Otherwise, I'd be there right now. You know what I mean? So, like, now for sure. Like, I appreciate you bringing that up. Because that was
Yeah,
something.
oh, so I
Oh,
always
go ahead.
think like you know, the people there, we're all Hawaiians, we know the culture and all that.
Yeah.
Um, but if we were to branch out, like if you was to go, Virginia or Vegas, uh, we still have that energy with us, the culture, the language.
Yo.
So we're actually all a part of Hawaii, and we're just bringing it to other places,
Yeah.
and we're planting that seed, and sharing it, like how this podcast, we're sharing our ideas and our perspective, and we're coming from different areas
Yeah.
in life.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's talk about sharing that.
Nah, that's tight, bro. That's tight, bro.
That's deep.
Really,
That's deep.
really appreciate you sharing
You
that.
got real deep right there, man.
Yep.
Yeah,
No,
for sure. Yeah.
I know Kainalu's one is gonna be easy. I could probably guess this
Okay,
one.
my turn.
Oh,
Yeah.
my boy, Nalu, let's
Oh,
go.
yeah, I gotta say
I could probably guess. I
I
could
Save the
probably
best
guess
for
this one, but
last.
this is the best for last, bro.
I think you already know. I think Josh already knows.
Yeah.
Maybe, probably even Holo too.
Go ahead,
So,
bro. Go ahead.
Majority of everybody says the future.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not gonna pick the past. So I'm definitely picking the future.
Yeah.
So one thing I would really like to see happen in the future, I'm gonna say it in a different language. So Hanguk Yohenga Teo. So which means when will I travel to Korea? And if you're probably wondering why, this is not because of K-pop or because I want to find my future girlfriend
Yes.
or wife in Korea. No.
That's
That's probably
absolutely
10% of it.
Oh, plug,
Yeah.
plug.
But the real reason is in case you guys didn't know, back when I was in my first deployment in Afghanistan, I had this whole list of places where I wanted to travel to when I came back home. And oddly enough, I had so many countries, so many places. And then what stood out was Korea. And only because I was familiar with it, and also because I learned Japanese. So kind of the similar language, like the pace, I could kind of pick up everything. So I learned Korean during my whole course of being in Afghanistan for 9 months and fell in love with the language. And of course, I was already sort of familiar with K-pop, and K-drama definitely kicked in right after that. And fast forward now, pandemic, can't really travel. You got to do a 2-week quarantine before you can even roam around Korea. So I've seen a lot of people I follow, they're in Korea right now, but they just got out of their 2-week quarantine, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But in the future, hopefully, what I projecting myself, the main thing I really wanted to do in Korea was to travel, see all the places that I wanted to visit when I made my list back in 2019. Of course, the food, the culture, and definitely one of the other main things was to showcase my photography talent and kind of link up with all my favorite photographers that I follow from Korea. There's something about their portrait style and their work that I really do like. So that's something that, maybe I might be able to promote my business, myself out there more. And I've always had this feeling, like I have a feeling of I have a better opportunity probably doing what I do with my photography work there than over here. It's just a little feeling that I always had. And kind of hoping one day I'll get there. I don't know when that will be, but it's still something I'm not going to give up. So I'm going to try to make it happen eventually, or at least when this pandemic is hopefully over.
Yeah, that is commitment.
Yeah,
oh boy, and I admire you for it. I am not gonna front. I admire you for that. We make fun of you for it all the time, but I mean, like, but deep down, like deep down, it's a real respect for that. I'm not gonna front about that.
He's actually staying true to it. He's sticking to it. Yeah. So he's speaking into the universe. He's constantly
He texts us in Korean sometimes, and we have to ask for the translation because it's like, bro, what you saying?
If that's not commitment, I don't know what is.
Yeah. He's more committed than Mars Luna is. So I'll put it out. That's a high.
That's a tall compliment.
That's a tall
I didn't know it was that serious.
Yeah, right. Bro, I take a look at the group chat, my boy. I take a look at the group chat. You know what I'm saying? But I knew that was where you were going with. It was the very obvious answer, and I appreciate you sharing more about why you love Korea, why you want to go there, and that was awesome. I loved everybody's answers and everybody's interpretations on the question. I appreciate all y'all for sharing, and that was really cool.
Some deep answers for sure.
Yeah.
Think about those questions.
Yeah, for sure. So we've reached the end of the podcast. Tom, once again, thank you. We appreciate you coming on, and I know you've been looking forward to this for a while, and we were very glad to have you on. And you're always invited. You know what I'm saying? And whenever the Dark Matter joint is on, you're invited for that too. Man. So
likewise, man, it's been a blast. I definitely want to do this again. This was you guys are dope. I love this. I'm a genuine fan. I am a genuine fan of this podcast. So at any time, for any reason, even if it's for 10 minutes, I don't even care. You want me back on, by all means, I'll be there.
For sure, bro. Yeah, so this is just the closing segment of the podcast. Just plug in whatever you need, whatever you want to plug, and all that kind of stuff. So, per usual, you can follow this podcast on ML Backstage on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Anchor, and YouTube for visual aid. And you can follow me on Instagram at LunaBJoshua. You can follow the music page at It's Mars Luna on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Stream Gone by Mars Luna. Album is Dark Matter is on the way. We're inching closer to the finish line every single day, and grateful for that. And
it's about to be a situation.
Yes, sir. You already know that.
Your situation. Let's go.
About to be a situation, fam. Let's get it. Let's get it.
An emergency broadcast.
Yeah.
Dang right. You dang right.
And you can follow all the music and stuff at itsmarsluna.com and Spotify and Apple Music at Mars Luna. So yeah.
Okay, I'll go.
They were literally going to junk in a pole.
You can find me on Instagram at TommBro Music. So that is TOMMBRO Music with the double M. Yes. You can also find that very same thing on Twitter, but I don't use that Twitter very often. But it's there if you want it. So Instagram and Twitter at TommBro Music.
For sure. And also Peep for his whole discography and stuff. Peep his Spotify playlist at TommBro's list. You can find all the songs that he's produced on there, and I occupy half of his list. So
you can find that on Spotify by searching it, or if you want to make things easier, and if you happen to be on Instagram, you can find that on my link tree in my bio.
Oh, there you go.
At TommBro Music. Just click that bio. It'll take you to all the 10 songs that is going to definitely grow.
Yep.
And
Sure.
you get to see that magic. So yeah, at
sure.
TommBro Music, Twitter, Instagram. The Spotify playlist is on the link on Instagram. I may have to put it on Twitter too. It might even be on Twitter by the time this is out. So yeah, there you go.
Nice.
Let's go.
Okay, I'll go. So Holo doesn't have to draw Kennepo.
Whatever, bro. I'm just waiting for Boss Man here to let me know when.
Let's
Okay, well,
get it.
everybody knows
All right, Nalu.
I do photography, so I'm gonna show the business card again.
Oh, here we go.
Wait.
Flex. Flex.
Oh,
Will it focus?
focus.
Okay, well, right here.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Wait. He's got his hand behind
Yeah,
him.
I can't. Well, it's Naluman Photography, so NALUMON and then photography. So I'm on Instagram and Facebook, and I don't know if you can see my Twitter, but
And he's
Easy.
pulling the phone out. He said easy.
Ladies and gentlemen, they don't call this guy the Hawaiian Oppa for nothing. So
yeah, that is my Twitter name. And if you're wondering why, it goes back to a language app I used during the
Squares.
Bro, your squares, bro.
Yeah,
That's a lot of squares.
Your squares,
There
bro.
you go, right there.
Oh,
That's
there we
my
go.
My Twitter is green square.
Hawaiian
I really use my Twitter more for all K-pop stuff, so you probably see me reposting it.
Yeah,
Right.
So Nalamon Photography on Instagram and Hawaiian Oppa on Twitter, and all
Whoop.
and all that stuff. So yeah, humble. And you didn't flex your
Still want
phone
to
out
jock at
yourself.
both?
I mean, you'd be junking a point with yourself, bro. So, you next.
Oh, scrap. So you can follow me on my website. It's Holokahiki Toves.co. I have all my thoughts on there, all my work that I do, portraits or work that videos that I put together by myself. I'm actually slowly putting together Instagram again. You heard it here first. Putting together.
Ooh.
Putting
big.
together. Oh my god, guys, you're gonna be excited. Putting together a Twitch. I've been kind of playing around in After Effects and Photoshop, and I'm pretty confident. So I'm gonna put a Twitch out, put an Instagram out.
There we go, bro.
Got the setup.
There we
You
go.
heard it here first, man.
There we
ML
go.
Backstage.
There we go. There we
ML
go.
Backstage.
That's big. That is big. That's big because
Best
this
podcast
go.
around.
this dude took a whole social media break for like 2 years.
Sheesh.
What's me?
So that's huge. That's huge. I'm excited for all that content coming. You know what I'm saying? But yeah,
Yes.
But yeah, once again, Tom, thank you so much for coming on. You're always
Likewise.
invited again. And stay tuned for Dark Matter. Hopefully the next episode will be the Dark Matter episode. So stay tuned. Stay tuned for that. This episode will be aired in October. So the next podcast will be in November when hopefully Dark Matter is out. So we can talk about everything Dark Matter related. So
That'll be nice.
Super dope.
So yeah, hope everybody has a great day, night, wherever you are, and stay tuned for next month's episode.
Later.
This fool, Joshua, is still trying to give away spoilers, and now Holokahiki Toves, of all people, thinks that Joshua and I are one and the same? I am astonished.
You did color your hair again, so you can't really blame yourself.
Well, just because Joshua and I both colored our hairs, it doesn't mean we're the same, Ethan. It's common sense.
Get it together, boy.
Alright. For the sake of staying professional, I hope you all enjoyed this episode of the ML Backstage podcast. It was actually a very fun one, and it was a really cool and surreal experience having Thomas in this episode. If you liked what you heard, follow us on Spotify and Anchor, and subscribe to us on Apple and YouTube at ML Backstage. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at It's Mars Luna, and you can find all my music on Spotify and Apple Music and on my website at itsmarsluna.com. My latest single, Gone, is now available on all streaming platforms, and yes, the Dark Matter album is almost done. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Stay tuned for next month's episode. Bye!